What's up everybody, it's Matt from Peter Glenn, and in this video we're going to talk to you about snowboard taper, what it is and exactly what it does. Let's check this out. So when you're looking at some of the all mountain boards, but mostly in the free ride and definitely into the POW boards, you're seeing a spec called taper, and usually it's measured in millimeters. And basically what that means is that the nose is wider than the tail. It's actually a very, very simple thing. Now where that comes into play is two places. It comes into play when you're just riding in general. When you have a board that has a little bit wider nose, especially when the taper actually starts at your contact points, and you basically have a wider contact point in the nose versus the tail, is that when you're riding on those groomed surfaces, you're almost kind of shoving your side cut forward a little bit. It's actually giving you very, very aggressive turns. Also, it's very, very easy exits. But when you do flip it around and ride it backwards, you get nice and easy entrances into your turns, and the back of the board actually helps push you a little bit. But beyond that, when you're really getting into the nitty-gritty of taper, it's more about float. And this is something where it can, again, be at the contact point, or like on the Burton Hometown Hero, it's actually up past the contact point a little bit. And that's where you get that wider nose. Now, obviously, if we take the board and we make the nose really, really long, and we make the tail really, really short, add swallow to it, whatever, you take material away from the tail, it wants to sit down in deep snow. You add material to the nose, it wants to lift up. And this is something that's, again, just giving you more float and more material in the front of your board. And this is something that is amazing for a lot of boards. And obviously a lot of people think mostly about the POW boards because it is most about the float and stuff. But then you get into boards like the Hometown Hero, which is a all mountain free ride board. You know, it's not really for the guy that's riding the park, but it's actually not horrible in the park. From contact point to contact point, it has the stance centered up. But with that taper and that wider nose past that contact point and past the upturn, you are getting that extra lift. And then even when you look at boards like the Jones Dreamweaver, it is a directional board and it almost looks like a twin tip, but again, it does have a little bit of taper because for those beginner intermediate riders, it's helping them learn a little bit. It's giving a little bit of an advantage when they're riding regular, and when they flip around and they're starting to ride switch, it's actually getting them a little bit of that advantage to help push them to learn to ride switch a little bit better too. So obviously, as you can see, taper, it's a pretty simple thing, but it's a very, very important thing in a wide range of boards. If you're somebody that rides switch half the time, it's something that you absolutely don't need. But if you are spending a little bit of your time riding switch, but most importantly, a little bit to even most of your time riding in the powder, taper is an awesome, awesome thing that's only gonna benefit you. But if you got any questions around what we talked about in the video, definitely leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We wanna make sure we can get you into some rad gear, but most importantly, we wanna make sure it's actually gonna fit you and it's gonna fit your specific riding style. Also make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop, and head on over to peterglenn.com and grab yourself a new board with some taper, or not if you don't need it. Get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding.